In this video, we're going to model the water heater tube for activity 225 CAD design tools using Autodesk Inventor 2025. We're going to go ahead and start off. I've already got an active project set up for the water heater tube, and I'll go ahead and select New. And I'm going to choose a new standard IPT file and create that. In the environment here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start a 2D sketch on the XY plane. And I'm going to go ahead and draw a line from the origin. So connect there, click. And then as I move away, I can also move back to this endpoint, click and hold down my mouse button and draw an arc. And be able to do that. Or you can also draw an arc if you need to. I'm going to right click and say cancel once I draw this top line. A couple things, you notice there's this bottom line here. We need to make sure we have tangency between the arc and the lines. And of course we'll probably get a message here that says it's over constrained. Yep, already exists. So I'll go ahead and I'll see those measurements, those 2 points of tangency. As I click on them, those will show up. And there we have our profile. Go ahead and run the dimension tool. Bottom line is going to have a length of 2.31 inches. The arc, or the distance between the two lines here, 1.95. And here we'll also see that from the endpoint of this line to here is going to be 2.06 and then minus 0.25. So that should give us a 1.81. We're going to see we're fully constrained on the sketch. I'm going to go ahead and finish it. Here's our sketch profile. In order to create our water heater tube, we need a second sketch. I'll go ahead and select Start 2D Sketch. In this one, I'm going to utilize the YZ plane. And on the origin, I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle, setting the center point right on the origin. And the outside of this is going to be set to a diameter of 0.37. And what we're going to do is, now that that's fully constrained, we're going to finish the sketch. And there we're going to see our circle right there intersecting the center of it, intersecting the end of the line from the previous drawing. I'm going to go ahead and grab the sweep command. And the first thing it's going to ask for is a profile. It already picked up the circle. It's highlighted. Then it says select the edge or curve that we want to follow. So if I can already click on that. It's already highlighted there in blue. We just go over and we select it. It's going to build our curve, and we're going to go ahead and say OK. So there's the main body of our water heater tube as we are kind of creating that. In the activity, they want us to add and utilize some construction geometry, like for example on an axis. They want us to choose an axis through a revolved face or feature or through the center of a circular or elliptical edge. So I'm actually going to go ahead and choose these through the center of circular or elliptical edge and just click right here on the circular edge, and you're going to see an axis is going to get put in right for our particular model. I'm going to go ahead and start a new 2D sketch. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to go over here to the origin folder, open it up, and I'm going to select the XY plane as the sketch plane. Utilizing that axis, I can go ahead and draw this profile. I'm going to go ahead and pick the end point of our tube there and go down until I'm able to kind of snap to that point with the axis and go ahead and draw that profile in and even connect it here. So I'll right click and say OK. Some measurements to help us out. We know that if I run the dimension command from here to here, this is going to be 0.25. And for this line to this line, we're going to see a 10-degree taper, like so. I'll go ahead and finish the sketch. What they would like us to do is take the revolve command, pick up this profile, and for the select axis, I'm going to go ahead and choose the axis the construction axis we put in there. And I'll go ahead and select OK. If I want to hide that work axis, I can go over here to the browser, right click, and select visibility to hide it. Next thing we need to do is we need to add the shell command. So the shell command, we're going to hollow out the tube. It's up here in the modify panel. We're going to select it. We're going to remove faces, and we're going to set to a thickness of 0.05 and I'm going to go ahead and select the end points of these faces to see that right there. To verify, we can always utilize the measure tool. Choose like the inside of the circle. Notice how the diameter is, it will be represented here on the end, but also mainly here on this end is probably the one that we actually want to do. So measure, the outside is going to be 0.37 for the diameter. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to go ahead and click the restart measure button, the plus sign, and then I'm going to click this circle, and this diameter is going to be 0.27, which is what they have specified on the drawing. So we know that all that looks good in terms of our measurements. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to add threads. So up here in the create panel, actually you're going to find it in the modify panel, here's thread and threads. So we're going to go ahead and select the surface. I'm going to select down here toward this end on the outside edge. We're going to go ahead and see that this is going to be a 0.375 3/8-16 UNC, and we're going to change the thread class to 3A, and then we'll go ahead and leave that as a right hand turn. The depth for the threading, here they have full depth is on. If I uncheck that, they want us just to place an offset. So the offset's going to be 0.5. Whoops, let me right click on that and say edit feature. So this one here should be a 0.5 kind of offset. However, that, as you can tell, didn't really offset it, pulled it from the edge. So we really don't want to have an offset as much as we just want to change this depth to be 0.5. And we can see that that's going to go just 0.5 there on our part. I'm going to go ahead and say OK. And there creates our water heater tube component. Let's go ahead and make sure we save that in our active project. We'll call this water heater tube and click save.